Okay, today we're here to chat about performance pattern cycling, which, again, you're going to hear me make this statement that I've probably got this wrong for 30 years, and this method I think will straighten some things out and reduce the limitations of transferability and just basic performance in your workout structure. I knew there's been a lot of errors in the structure of the workout, just didn't realize as much what was going on in that workout. So here's really some disclosure. I did not invent this method. This has been used by other people. Coaches I know, coaches all over the world have used this. I'm just letting you know this is what I've come to realize what's going on, what I caught in video. Making my job here is to make coaches aware of the issues and the old methods of a workout structure, and I think it'll become pretty aware and you'll understand what I'm talking about when this video is over. So first typical workout, let's say I just throw some basics up there. Notice you'll have a back squat, let's say 3 sets of 6, and then let's say you pair that with the hurdle hops, and you'll go back and forth 3 sets of 6. This is pretty typical bodybuilding, powerlifting, and I'm not saying they're wrong for their methods, but not necessarily for athletes when you see this. And then you go on to the glute ham hyper, and then you go on maybe to reverse ham hyper, reverse hyper, and you're pairing this with some other things or whatever it may be. That's not important, the fact that you're just cycling through some exercises. But what I realized in COVID with training my son for a number of times, what we created by doing 3 sets of 6 and then going to the next exercise is we created a problem for this exercise down here, where things didn't function right until the 3rd or 4th set, maybe even. And I began to realize that, wait a minute, the back squat can be causing some overemphasis, some incorrect patterns to appear, especially in a highly adaptable athlete. Okay, so the patterns that are created can actually screw up your following exercises. So the patterns that are formed are less, these exercises become less effective at a later date. So let me give you an example of that. What I had here, and we'll go back to the start. Let me give you a second. We'll go back to the start, and you'll notice this athlete's hopping. This is without any coaching. After doing this particular drill I wanted, this athlete's hopping after he did his, let's say for example, 3 sets of squats, because what's happening is the squat is now causing him to become more quad dominant. So you saw the exercise. After he did those 3 sets, he was hopping more without any coaching. Okay, now we come back and we do this exercise and watch what happens to the athlete doing the same drill. There's less hopping going on. He's doing it a little bit more violent, maybe because the certain correct patterns got into place, but he's not going up and down as he was with the other video. There we go. You see how he's going more up and down? Yep. So doing the glute ham actually helped that pattern disappear, the negative pattern of the hopping up and down, because he became more quad dominant on this exercise. However, here's how we fix the problem. We just pick all the exercises that you choose. Instead of going a 3x6 on back squat paired with hurdle hops, this is the same workout as over here. You cycle through 1 set of all these, and then you start back at the top for this performance cycle. And what I have found is you will not get that hopping in this particular athlete. You will not cause these patterns to become dominant especially in some types of athletes than others, and we'll get more into that later. But the key here is that you would do 3 sets of 6, maybe even 4, however many you want, but you cycle through this, okay? All your main exercises that are performance-based would be in one big cycle so that you can then not cause any of those, let's say, degradation patterns or negative patterns that cause dysfunction in these other exercises. So this is the first part 1 of performance pattern cycling. And what I'm telling you to do, instead of doing the typical bodybuilding 3 sets of 6, go on the next exercise, for athletes, you need to do the exercise on your performance cycles all the way through and then go back to the top. This will create a better sports performance pattern and a better pattern engagement for all the exercises. Yes, I have been doing it wrong for over 30 years. I'll admit that.